Hey there, my name is Danielle and I'm going to take you through a yoga flow that connects to your shoulders, your spine, and really ties together the element of fluidity. We're going to start on our mat, so come down towards your hands and your knees. Get your shoulders just on top of your wrists and your knees just on top of your hips. And take a big breath in as you lift your spine, pull your shoulder blades down. Use your exhale to go the other way. This is called cat and cow. Really exhale to draw in. And I invite you for the whole of this class to keep thinking of this as a breathing exercise that happens to have movement layered on top. You just have a few more like this. Really feel your shoulders move down your back and then push them apart. Your shoulder blades are the beginning of your wings, the wings of your arms. And the more that you can connect to them, the more that your arms will have freedom to move in the directions you want. We're just going to do one more. And then we're going to take our hands a little further forward. Do the same thing, but with your elbows slightly bent. So bend your elbows slightly, pull your chest through, and then round over. You can even come up to your fingertips. Just getting a little bit more space through your back. And really feeling those muscles that sometimes get forgotten about. Those connections through our shoulder blades. All the way up our spine. Give me just one more pull of your chest to go forward and one more to draw back. Then sink your hips towards the floor, drag your shoulder blades away and take a little lift up. This is called cobra. Sometimes it's nice to just take a little twist from side to side. Feel the little spiral of your shoulders. Then sit back towards your heels, find a really big hinge and unravel, draw your ribs in. Allow your hips to sink, your elbows pull down and back so your chest can rise. And again, I invite you to just twist your spine slightly so you start to give your back a bit more freedom rather than expecting it to just hold still. All the way back. We're doing it one more time. Ripple yourself through. As you let your hips drop, pull your shoulder blades down. And just squeeze your glutes on. They will support your low back as you go through. Sit back towards your heels. This is called child's pose. But then curl your toes and push your hips high. In your downward dog, your feet are going to go as wide as your mat, so you really get to hinge from your hips. Just let your chest drop down for a moment. You can shake out your head from side to side. Maybe rock your weight from one foot to the other. And then we're going to start to ripple. Come up high onto your toes. As you round your back and take it forward, feel like your spine is a slinky. You can start to sink your hips to the floor. Micro-bend your elbows and drag your hips back. Try to keep looking forward until you drop your head. We're going to do it again. Ripple yourself forward. Feel like you're unraveling from the base of your hips all the way up towards your shoulder blades. As you go back, bend from your knees. Try to bend your elbows as well so you really compress before you lift. 2 more times like this. Try to make it even more fluid. From this drop of your hips, you're keeping your toes tucked before you lift. This is your last time like this. Your spine and your feet move in very similar ways. You want to be able to create more ripples, more fluidity through both. From this downward dog, take your feet a little bit more narrow and start to pedal through the ankles. Just lift one heel really high and then the other. And it's a nice time to turn your spine one way and the other, just to peel a little bit more room into the edges of your hips and your rib cage. We're going to come up to the top of our mat, so get your feet firmly down about shoulder distance apart, and just let your body sway a little. Have a little shake out of your head. Allow your body a moment to really drop, and then roll up through your spine. We're going to interlace the arms all the way overhead, clasp them. I want you to shoot the arms high and draw your ribs down so you create a really strong column of strength. From here, now lift your rib cage up, take it a little higher, and then let your arms just fall as your chest comes to the ground. Let your head drop. Find a half lift. It's almost like a deadlift where you put your hands into your shins and you pull your shoulder blades together. Really draw your ribs in. Then push your hands down your shins, wrap them towards your ankles and drop your head. You can always pull in a little deeper if you want. Just feel the stretch go down the back of your legs as well. We're going to take it all the way back to plank, so one foot and then the other, just slide it back. Instead of doing a press up to the floor, I want you to land your knees on the ground, pull your shoulder blades back, and then start to send your chest towards your thumbs so you create a ski slope. From here, push your hips in. You're going to roll yourself all the way up, and then drop your hips so you come into cobra. Or if you want to do upward dog, you just lift your knees a little higher and pull your shoulder blades back. Take a little roll of your head from side to side while you're here. Notice how much freedom you have of your neck to move while your shoulders are pulled down. And you're pushing yourself all the way back to downward dog. Lift your hips. And just take a little walk for a moment. Again, you can twist from one side to the other if that feels good. We'll do one more round like that. So step to the front. Again, about shoulder distance with your feet. Roll up through your spine. And as your arms go high, interlace them. Start from this column of strength where you draw your ribs in, squeeze your glutes a lot, and then by choice, let your chest lift a little higher, look up. Use your exhale to release the hands. You're coming to a forward fold. Your hands don't have to touch the ground, but if they do, lean into your fingertips. And from here, find your flat back, really send your chest forward. You're using your exhale to draw yourself in, a little bit of a deeper fold. And step it back to plank one more time. From your plank, land your knees. You're landing your chest towards your thumbs. Really pull your shoulder blades together. And then unravel. You're going to tuck your hips in, push yourself through, and lift your chest. Let's go back to downward dog. Take a second to move through your ankles again. And we're going to go through a flow that just builds. And as you get more comfortable with it, we'll add on little bits. So you're going to bring your feet together, slide your right leg in, and then step it down between your hands. Pop your back knee on the floor, land it, and you're going to lift yourself up. Your hands can go on top of your thigh, and you want to feel like you're drawing your ribs in to push the front thigh away. Start to take the arms up towards the ceiling, stretch them up, and then you're going to pull your arms down, keeping your hands interlaced. You should feel a stretch through your chest. When you can't get your hands any further down, just release the arms and let your hips release. We're doing it twice more. Come all the way up again. Try to really scoop in. Pull the arms down behind your head. Keep the fingers interlaced for as long as you can. And then release. One more time, up. Pull down. And release. Nice stuff. Your hands are going on the inside of your foot. Take a moment to rock side to side. Maybe shuffle your right foot a bit wider. And we're doing little shoulder shrugs. So your shoulders are going to shrug back, lift your chest, and then drop your head. Push the floor away to lift, and we'll do it again. Shoulders drag back, look forward, and lower. All the way up, one more time. Use your exhale to drag back. Lower everything down. Good, come back towards this low kneeling lunge. Take your right arm up and your left arm back towards the floor. If it doesn't touch the floor, you can also hold on to your hip, but feel like you're stretching the whole side of your body and reach through the fingertips for just a second. Then change, switch over your other hand. Your left arm goes high. Find this little stretch to the left edge of your body. One more each side. Really circle up and back. It's like you're arcing. It's the longest fire alarm ever. You're arcing and you're arcing and you're arcing. Okay. Right. So coming back to your lunge, reach your left hand back and your right arm overhead. If you'd rather, you can keep your hand on your hip. I want you to feel like the front of your waistband is pulling up a lot, and then lean over to a side stretch. Go the other way, up and over. Just find this reach. One more time, up. Feel like one shoulder is being pulled down as the other goes overhead. And your last time, up and over. Nice, we're coming all the way to standing, so curl your back toes under, stand. Turn your hips to face the long side of your mat. Your left leg is still straight. You're going to reach forward and down to a big side lean, And then carry that top arm overhead. I want you to imagine a line between your hip and your fingertips, and you're trying to arc it a little bit more, just for a breath. Then bring yourself all the way up. Wiggle your toes so they're in a straight line across the edge of your mat. Hands onto your hips. Drag your shoulders together. Lean forward till you feel a stretch. Take a breath. And when you're ready, relax. Let your head drop and let your shoulders relax as well. When you're ready, roll up through your spine. Go nice and slow. Turn your left toes out. Do the same stretch on the other side so your hips hinge back. You go up towards the sky, and then once you find the side stretch, reach all the way over. Feel like someone is pulling your fingertips that little bit longer. Just for one more breath. Okay, facing towards the left. You should be facing the other edge of your mat now as you find yourself into plank. Let's just take a little ripple. So land your knees, land your chest and your chin. And then really drag yourself through. Let your hips start to drop. Look up with your chest. Try to microbend your elbows and pull your shoulders back. Downward dog. We're doing the other side, so pull your left knee in. Step your foot between your hands and land your back knee on the floor. You're going to lift up, maybe even push the front thigh forward, and check that you feel a strong stretch through your hip by tucking your hips under and engaging your abs. 3 times you breathe up. Start to pull the arms back, really keep the hands interlaced. And then at the last moment, just relax, let yourself reset. 2 more times. So you infill, pull down, and use your exhale to let it go. 1 more time. Inhale. Drag it down. And then just let it release. Your hands are finding the inside of your left foot now. You can wiggle your foot out a bit wider if you need more space for your shoulders. Maybe take a little rock from side to side. And we're going to take 3 ripples. So drag your shoulders back, lift your chest for a moment, and then think of sending your chest forward and down. Then ripple your chest up. 2 more times. The shoulders start to pull back. Your chest reaches forward, and you drop. All the way up. 1 more time. Shoulders back, look forward. And all the way down. Coming up. You're staying in your kneeling lunge, but lift your chest a little higher. You can always push again with the thigh. Take your left hand up and overhead and your right hand towards the floor. If you want to make this go a little further, try to pivot your chest across to your back leg. And then switch sides, coming up with the other arm. Lean over. If you feel you're far away from the ground, put your hand on your hip and just stretch. If you want to go deeper, bend the front knee so you can lean further. We're doing 1 more on each side, so up and over. Use your exhale to really sink. Feel that long pull through the edge of your body. And your last time going up. Use your exhale to reach. To get back to the front, we're going to find a high lunge, so stand up. Put your back heel flat and both legs are straight. You're going to reach out and down. This is called triangle in yoga, where the whole side of your body is stretching. It's easy to want to stick your butt out, but just tuck it under because you'll feel much more effectiveness. It's just a nicer stretch. And then come all the way up. Turn your feet so that they are long against the edge of your mat, toes pointing forward, hands on your hips. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, draw up through your center, and then lean forward. So you've got a long column of your torso. And whenever your next exhale comes, let your body drop. Let your shoulders relax. Maybe your head can move from side to side. You're rolling up to your spine and face the other way. Same thing. Find that long triangle shape. So 1 arm up, your hips are dropping forward and your ribs are down. You can always use your fingers to take these little checks for yourself. Take the arm overhead for a breath. Feel that long pull. And then face the front. Find yourself into plank. 1 more time, we're doing this ripple. Land your knees, land your chest and your chin. Really squeeze your shoulders together. And push away. As your hips drop, gaze up. Feel your shoulders move back. And you can even take a roll of your head again to check that your shoulders are not in the way. Downward dog, push all the way up. Move through your legs, move through your head. Let this downward dog be really free. There are no rules, just kind of wiggling. with both hands and both feet on the floor. And then we're going to come all the way down towards our knees and do little shrugs with our shoulders again. So start with your hands just in front of your shoulders and feel like your shoulder blades are pulling together and then pushing apart. Imagine there is a pencil between your shoulder blades and you're trying to squeeze across the pencil and then push away so the pencil almost rolls off your back. What we're doing is just getting more awareness between our brain and the muscles that we can't see through the back of our body. If you feel you want to take it further, take the arms a little longer, send your chest a little further, and it's the same shrug, but you'll feel there's a little bit more of a back bend element to it. If you want to take it even further, send your chest to the floor, your chin goes forward, and you're still finding the shrug of your shoulder, but it'll look like less. I'm very, very strong through my lower abs right now. It's keeping me supported. So even though I'm in an arch with my back, there's always this sense of support. We're doing good. Just for one more breath here, find this little shrug up and down. And then push yourself all the way through. Allow your hips to drop. Lift your chest for a moment. Squeeze your glutes. Maybe take a twist from side to side like before. We're going to find ourselves back to child's pose and push up to downward dog. Walk through your legs again. We're going to do the whole cycle again. But I'm going to give you little add-ons if you want to make them more intense, more challenging. See what feels right for you. So feet together, squeeze your right foot in and step it between your hands. Your back knee is going to land on the floor. Take a little rock till you feel steady, and then use your hands to push the thigh away so the stretch goes down your hip. You really want your shoulder to be as high over your hip as you can. Arms go up towards the ceiling. Maybe they reach a little further behind your head. Find that long pull. When you can't reach any further, start to drag down. And then once the stretch is affecting all the way across your chest, let your arms relax and let your hips sink. 2 more times. Inhale up. Let yourself pull all the way back, all the way around. Just 1 more time. Lift. Maybe lean a little further. And release. Your hands find the inside of your foot. Wiggle your right foot a bit wider. This time I'd like you to lift up the back knee if you can, so there's a bit more stretch through your hip as well. But it's the same ripple with your chest. You're pulling the shoulders back like you're in upward dog. Look high. And then use your exhale to forward fold your head. Roll up through your spine 2 more times. Inhale to lift. Shoulders down and back to fold. 1 more time. Inhale to lift. All the way forward and down. Keep your back knee off the floor. Climb up your leg or just come up towards a high lunge. Your arms are going to reach high. From here, drop your right hand towards your lower back or your back leg and take a little twist. Really look over the side. Find a stretch. Go the other way. Drop your back heel. You're reaching up and over. Find the stretch through the edge of your body and you're bending your front leg down. Just once more on each side. Come up towards the center. Really pivot from your hips so they're facing forward. Lean the right arm to the floor or your back leg and squeeze your glutes forward so you find that long lean. And then change. Turn your hips, your front knee is bent, and go up and over. Just 1 more breath. The same transition we did before. Straighten the front leg. You're going into triangle, so up and over. You can stay. You can take the arm all the way over. If you want to make it a little deeper, put your hand between your shoulder blades and try to lean into your arms. You twist higher. For 1 more breath in. 1 more breath out. Slowly stand up. Turn your toes so they face the long edge of your mat. You're in your wide-legged forward fold. So inhale to reach forward. Exhale to go down. And you can be still, or you can take a little rock from side to side. 1 more breath. And roll up other side. Turn your left toes out. Hinge your hips away. Ribs are down. You can find the side stretch. If you want to go further, take the arm over your head or place the hand between your shoulder blades and lean into it for a moment. Just take one breath in. You should feel the stretch down the edge. One breath out. Then facing down, you're facing the other edge of your mat. Find yourself into plank. Lower your knees, lower your chest, lower your chin, your shoulders are back. And then ripple through. Take a moment to lift your chest. And as you exhale, forward fold. Drop your head, take a second to walk through your legs. Move your neck around, move anything that feels good. We're doing it again to get back to the front, so pull your left knee in and step it forward. Your back knee is finding the ground. Like side one, interlace the arms over your head. You're really trying to push your shoulders over your hips and your hip over your knee. From here, when the hands can't go any further, start to pull them back. And then as you release, let your hips relax as well. Twice more, lift up. Pull your arms back. Drag your hands down. Use your exhale to let go. Last time, up. Pull back. And release. Your hands are on the inside of your foot. Move your left foot a little wider if you need, and lift your back knee. Make sure the weight is in your legs. Then shoulders back, look up. And use your exhale to fold. Roll up. And again, shoulders back, look forward. And fold. One more time, inhale. Shoulders back, look forward. And fold. Come up towards a high lunge, so keep your back toes tucked. You're driving up through your chest. Check that your hips are scooping under, and then arms go overhead. Take a second to breathe in. That's just going to make you get longer. Exhale the left hand down. Take a little twist. So you're stretching the edge of your body right now. And again, inhale, lift. This time your right heel goes down. Bend your left knee more and take an opposite edge side stretch. This is called reverse warrior. Just one more time. Arms up to the center, your hips square off. Exhale the left arm down. You can reach for the floor or your back leg. And then up, drop the back heel. Lean up and over, your reverse warrior. Find yourself to a straight line. You're in triangle. So both legs extend, you reach forward and down. Up and over if you like, or the hand between your shoulder blades if you want to go further. Take a second to peel open the chest. So you feel the stretch to the side and probably through the inner thigh as well. Then stand. Turn your toes so they're facing the long edge of your mat. Take a breath in, your shoulders are together, and then fold, let your head drop heavy. If you want to make this a little deeper, start to creep your hands further forward, pull your shoulders down, and feel your head reach past the edge of your mat, rather than between your legs. So you feel almost like there's a little back bend in your forward fold. For one more breath in. One more breath out. Roll up through your spine, triangle on the other side, so you're turning your right leg out. Face the edge. If you want to go further, arm up and over. Or place the hand between your shoulder blades and lean into it. Feel like your arm is very close to your ear. This is going to help you find a bit more stretch. For one more breath. Face the front. Find yourself into plank. Land your knees, land your chest, land your chin. And roll yourself all the way through. Come into your upward dog, shoulders together. Maybe take a little twist from side to side if that feels good. We're going to come all the way down towards our front. So lower your body down. Your hands are going to stay pretty much under your shoulders. If you feel it's uncomfortable to lie like this, your legs can be a bit wider or together. Just see where it feels good for your quads to be supported. But roll the shoulders back. Get used to this feeling of gliding all the way up and back. And then we're going to add a little lift. So roll the shoulders back. When they are pulling down your back, let your chest lift. And then imagine your chest is pulling further forward as it goes down. 4 more times like this. Roll back. Pull the shoulders back. And reach further forward and down. And again, roll back. If you want to make it more challenging, see if you can come up to your fingertips so you're very light in the hands. And then pull forward and down. 2 more times. Roll the shoulders, lift. It's like you're trying to drag your chest through your shoulders, all the way down. 1 more time, roll and lift. And all the way down. Nice, guys. Come all the way back towards your knees. We're going to sit up and do a little arch of our back, close and open. In nourishing your spine, the more that you teach it to move in different directions, the more your spine will be happy going both forward and back, but also twisting. So we're going to get our body to move forward and back, and most of us are more comfortable folding forward. When we teach our body to go both ways, the way that we're not as comfortable with will just become a bit more accessible. So start with your hands, interlace them behind your back. I want you to shoot the hands towards the floor and lift your chest. As you do this, squeeze your butt forward and feel like there's a little stretch across the front line of your body. Then reverse by sitting towards your heels. Tuck your head in. Try to feel your arms go overhead. Feel the stretch down the back, the opposite direction. Do it again, lift. Your knuckles reach down, but your legs drive you forward. Imagine someone is pushing your hips forward. Your chest reaches up. And all the way back. You're going to keep doing these. This is kind of like a ripple from a yoga pose called camel. If you'd rather make it more intense, curl your toes under, keep your fingers on your heels so you can push away and lift. And then you can curl yourself in, hold onto your ankles and fold. It gives you a bit more support to hold onto your heels, but you do need the flexibility of your shoulders to make sure that feels right for you. Imagine your hips are the things that direct you all the way through to lift, and then all the way back down. Just one more time, ripple and lift. And all the way back down. We're going to take a hold. I'll give you options. The first option, you lift and hold with your knuckles interlaced, your glutes squeezing forward, and your ribs down. Really support that line. Option 2, reach your hands towards your heels, squeeze your glutes forward, then lift your ribs up. So there's a bigger stretch line. Option 3, place your fingertips on the insides of your heels, and you just lift your chest a bit more. I'm still supported through my abs, but my shoulders are getting closer and closer together. For one more breath, one more exhale. Then bring yourself all the way out. Give your shoulders a little roll if you need to. We're going to do just one more cycle, but this one we'll just hold each position for a couple breaths. You'll really sink into it more. Start from a downward dog, lift your hips. Maybe take a twist through your spine if that feels good. And you're stepping your right foot between your hands. Put your back knee on the floor. Your arms are going to go up and overhead. Really check that you're stretching the front of your hips up. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, hips drive forward, chest lifts up. Hold it here for 1. And again, breathe out. Try to lean a little further. 1 more breath in. Really lean back. And then coming up, hands onto the inside of your foot. Lift your back leg for a moment. We're going to hold it down low in a lunge. So use your inhale to lift your chest. As you exhale, chest goes down, gaze looks forward. So I'm still moving my shoulders down my back. You have 3 breaths. This is 1. Strong back leg for 2. And for 3. Then draw yourself up. Keep your back knee off the floor. You're finding a high lunge. Take your arms overhead. And you're dropping your left heel straight away. Your front leg is bent. You can use your hands across your rib cage to just check you're not doing a back bend right now. It's a side lean. Just hold it here. If you want, you can slide the left hand down to your ankle to make the stretch just a little bit stronger. You have 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. And stand. Straighten the front leg. You're reaching forward and down. Your hand is on the shin and you're reaching up. If you want more, slide a little further. Your hips drive forward and then you stretch overhead. If you'd like to stretch the hand behind your back, Place the fingertips there. Keep your elbow close to your shoulder and then just twist up. The same thing, you're checking that your ribs are down, so the stretch really is contained to the side of your body. For just one more breath. Stand all the way up. Wiggle your toes so they're in one straight line. Take your hands to your hips. Shoulders move back, look forward, and lean out. If your hands don't touch the floor, keep them on your shins. If they do touch the floor, imagine you're pushing your heels further. Take your arms out and try to pull your shoulders down your back. I'm almost thinking of like dragging back with my fingertips. It's just going to help me feel a little bit more arch in my back. For one more breath. So from your forward fold, just roll up through your spine. We'll do the other side. Turn your left toes out. You're reaching through to triangle pose. Hold it here. If you want a little bit more, the arm reaches over your head. Make sure the palm is facing down. Or place the hand between your shoulders, lean into it, and really make sure ribs are down, glutes are switched on. For one more breath. Face the back. Find yourself in downward dog straight away. We'll do the other side. So wiggle out through the ankles. Then step your left foot forward, squeeze it in and land it. Back knee goes down. You're drawing up through your rib cage, arms go up. Really squeeze up. I'm almost feeling like I could drag my right knee forward. That's going to make the stretch across my hip just much, much sweeter. Lean back for a breath. Use your exhale to lift for one. And again. Maybe lean a bit further. One more breath in. One more breath out. And then release. Hands go down. Curl your back toes under. Take a sip of breath. And as you exhale, shoulders go down. You're leaning forward rather than down. So it's just continuing to open out the front of our chest. Just continuing to feel loads of space through the front. You can go as low as you like. For one more breath. And then take it up. Going straight out to the side, drop your back heel. Swim the arms around. So your left arm goes high and you're in reverse warrior. Again, do your little checks. Check your ribs are down, your glutes are switched on, the two sides of your spine that need support. Or go a little further by just sliding the hand down to your ankle and just hold. Some people find their front leg starts to straighten. For now, I just want you to bend the knee a bit deeper so you feel the hips hinge. For one more breath. Then straighten up, both legs extend. You're reaching forward and down. Hold. We've revisited this a few times. This should be getting a little bit more natural. Getting your spine to twist just a little bit more. And stand. Turn your toes to parallel, hands to hips. Squeeze your shoulders, lean out. And reach your fingers forward or towards your shins. Still thinking long back for just one breath. Roll up. Other side, turn your right toes out, reach forward and down. You can hold it here. You can reach your arm over. You can place your hand between your shoulders. For one breath in. One breath out. Face the front. Instead of going into a plank, I want you to step your left foot forward. Find a heavy forward fold. Take a little sway through your head, sway through your hips. Turn your toes out more and just check your squat. So you want to feel where you are steady on the floor, where your hips are heavy and your toes are slightly turned out. If you feel your heels are lifted, that's all right, but we want to start working the ankles to get lower to the floor. Our ankle mobility has a lot to do with how much we can arch up and back. So just get that feeling of stability here. And then we're going to take little lifts. You're going to send one hand back, sit on the floor. Your fingertips are facing away from you. Your right hand is on your left shoulder. Use the fingertips as a guide to push the shoulder back. Your chest will start to lift. And then push through your feet so your glutes switch on and you start to rise up. You might feel you want to hold it here and lift towards the sky. I say this like a broken record, but squeeze your glutes. It will support your low back. And just take a moment to feel what this is like. And then slowly connect. You're lowering down, the shoulder slides up. We'll try the other side, so swing your arms around. Right hand on the floor, left hand towards your shoulder. The same thing on this side, your toes turn out slightly. Push the shoulder blade down into its socket, then start to drive up. You can hold it here, or you can lift a little higher. Feel like you're pushing weight into your legs rather than dumping it all into your arm. And then come all the way down. So, from your squat, sit yourself back a little. Your left hand is going down, bring your right hand to your shoulder. It's really important the shoulder is set into its socket before you try to drive your hips up. So find that connection, then squeeze your glutes a lot and lift. You may want to hold it here. Sometimes people feel like they need to rock onto their toes, and that's fine as well. But find a support line where you're trying to get your hips higher than your shoulders. And then slowly come down. Try the other side. So move your hands across. Your left hand is on your right shoulder. Nudge the shoulder into its socket. As you lift your hips up, try to get them higher than your knees. If that means lifting your heels, that's also fine. Really push up. And then come all the way down. Option 2, you're taking it a little bit deeper. Once you are up there, you're going to extend the arms, give yourself a little bit more reach. So the same start, your shoulder pushes back, you lift your hips. Really get your hips higher than your shoulders. And if you feel you want to, reach back, see if you can touch the floor or maybe the forearm, somewhere that gives you space. And then come all the way down. Use your fingertips on your shoulder just as a guide. Your fingers really communicate well with your body, so use them to help you shoulder back, hips up. Keep driving your hips up. You can always lift your heels if you want, but find this lift. If you want to release the fingers, see if you can tap the floor or tap the forearm as a stepping stone to eventually the floor. And then come all the way back. Keep going with those first and second options till it feels good for you. If you want to make it just a little deeper, we're going to see if we can turn around so we actually flip our hands. It will be full bridge or chakasana in yoga. So your hand is close to your hip. Your right hand is on your shoulder. Push the shoulder back. Really push weight into your glutes. There is more weight in my legs than in my hands. And once you reach across, if you can put the hand on the floor, you're going to flip this hand so all your fingers face towards your heels. From here, tuck your chin in and push your chest through. So you're in a little bit of a deeper back bend. And then come all the way down to just reverse. You flip the left hand first, then sit all the way down. And you're changing. Your right hand goes down, hand on your shoulder. Option 1, you're going to get your hips up and see if you can hold this space. Option 2, you're going a little further so your fingers reach down. Option 3, if your fingers can reach down, you're trying to put weight into it to flip the hand. And like side 1, you push your chest through. You will want to look to the floor, but really try to look up with your chin because it will give your shoulders just more to play with, more room. And then coming all the way down, flip the right hand first and all the way down. We're going to do one more on each side. You have options. I'll walk through them all again. Option 1, you're going to push the shoulder back and hold. Sometimes it's nice to look down because it gives your neck a bit more freedom. Option 2, you keep going. You push more weight into your legs. Your arm reaches overhead. Option 3, put the fingers flat and turn the left hand to join the right. Then push your chest through. Come back down wherever you are, towards the floor. Other side, our last one. Your right hand down, your left hand on your shoulder. Push the shoulder back, be strong through your legs as you lift. Hold, maybe look to the floor. To make it a little deeper, start to lift your hips up higher. See if you can tap the floor. You can even bend this elbow to help you tap the floor. Option 3, you turn the fingers around, really push, and look through. And then come all the way back, whichever option you did. If you felt that was a lot for your back, give your shoulders a little roll. We're just not used to bending back as much, so go with what feels right for you. You don't have to force it. Your body will adapt with time. I'm going to take it to a little side stretch. So fold the left leg in. You're going to face the long edge of your mat so your hips are nice and steady. If you do feel like you're slouching, fold over the back edge of your mat to give you a little bit more height. But right hand, left leg. Take a big side stretch over. This should be a similar feeling when you're standing up in triangle. And just take just a moment to breathe here. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. Switch your hands. Your left hand is going down, again, close to your hip. You're going to put weight in your left knee and drive your hips forward for a little side stretch. You should feel it through the front of your hip. And then come all the way down. We'll do it twice more on the same side. So left arm up and over. If you want to take it further, reach past your toes rather than towards it and feel like your right shoulder is reaching a little further forward. Up and over, you land weight into your left knee. Drive your hips forward. You can even spin on the knee a little to take it further. And your last one, your big side stretch. Up and over, find this reach. You can hold on. If you want to hold on to the foot, reach further forward. Think of the right shoulder going in front of your knee, and then you catch and hold just for a breath in. Well, if you are holding onto the foot, I want you to think of like a pull-up. So pull the shoulder down to help you. And then reverse. Left hand down. Right knee pushes into the floor. Lift up. And all the way down, let's switch. So just shuffle everything on the other side. Make sure you feel steady. Give yourself more support. Sometimes it's nice to use a brick under your hips as well to give you a bit more height. But left arm, right leg. Right arm goes over. You can hold it here. I'd rather you find a side stretch than feel like you have to force your body down. Go up into a hip drive. You're putting weight into your right knee and lifting your chest. Take a big breath here. Back down 2 more times like this. You're going up and over. You can hold it here. If you want to go further, think of twisting your chest to go up and over. And take it towards this kneeling lift. Drive your knee down, drive your hips forward, look up. This bottom shoulder is going to want to collapse. Just push it into its socket. Last time, up and over. Right arm lifts. If you want to go further towards the foot, make sure you're pulling the shoulder down so you find a little bit of a deeper twist. But if you also want to stay up higher, sometimes that feels more effective. So go with what feels right rather than what looks better. Last time, your right hand is going low. Drive your hips forward, take a big stretch. Maybe look down to the floor or play with it feels like to look up. And release. We're swinging our legs all the way around to the front. And take a little twist before we come into stillness. So pull your right knee into your chest. Take a little rock, just see what it feels like. You're going to pull the knee across your body. This is kind of stage 1 that feels quite nice. If you feel your right shoulder is quite high off the floor, wiggle your shoulders so they feel like they're both pulled down and reach your right hand a little higher. Doesn't matter if it doesn't touch, it will over time. You can also lift this knee up to make it deeper. If you feel like you're not getting enough twist, try folding your left foot up and catch hold of it with your right hand. Move the knee back a bit more and then see if you can revisit this twist with both shoulders pulling down. You can flex or point your feet as long as you feel that spiral. So I'm really thinking about the stretch down the side of my waist. You've got another breath. And change. Back to center, pull your left knee in, give it a little rock. The same thing on side 2. You're going to pull the knee over to the side. You can hold it here. If you feel this arm is really high, just keep the knee a bit higher and let the arm go higher than your head rather than here. If you feel you want a deeper stretch, you're folding up your right leg, catch hold of the foot, move the knee back, and then twist. I really think about dragging my shoulders down my back. That gives my lungs more space at the front. You've got 2 breaths to go. This is 1. And 1 more breath. Nice, guys. Come back to the front. We're taking one last little lift of our hips. So hands onto your hips. Really arch your back like you could squeeze your shoulders together, stick your butt out a lot. And then reverse, tuck your hips under, roll all the way up. Maybe you lift your heels to find a little ripple. Not too high, just a nice long straight line. Roll yourself down towards the floor 1 more time. Take this little arch of your back like you're pushing your tailbone into the floor, squeezing your shoulders. And then unravel, hips squeeze under, ripple yourself up. Find this nice long lift. And close your eyes, hold it for a moment. I want you to take your arms up and over behind your head. And you're gonna roll down as slow as you can, so feeding your upper back, your middle back, your lower back, all the way into your hips. Once your hips on the floor, take your legs out like a starfish, take your arms out to a place that feels comfortable. You're gonna lie in stillness for about 2 minutes. And during this time, I'm going to sit up and speak to you, but I just want you to completely reset and relax there. A really beautiful thing in yoga is allowing your body to understand what recovery feels like. What it feels like to really get your body out of a stress zone and into a place of reset. And sometimes that means we have to be completely still just to create a positive mental imprint in our body. So now that your body is moved and now that you've stretched all of these parts, I want you to just let it settle within you and to let yourself breathe. Don't make yourself breathe. Just allow your breath to flow. Just allow your breath to come and go like waves on the shore without you making it rushed faster or slower. Almost imagine that the wave runs all the way up your body when you inhale, and the wave runs all the way down your body when you exhale. And give yourself permission to do 3 more breaths like this, where the inhale is slow and it ripples up your spine all the way to the crown of your head. The exhale is unhurried, unforced. You just ripple all the way back down. 2 more times like this in your own gentle breath. And before you move, take a moment of kindness, of gratefulness for your body. You have an amazing body that does wonderful things for you every single day. It allows you to walk, it allows you to stand, it allows you to reach and to talk and to move. So give yourself that moment just to acknowledge the beautiful body you live in. And then take a deep breath, reach your arms up high, reach your feet forward. And as you exhale, you're gonna just roll over to one side and then push yourself up to sit up in any way that feels good. It doesn't have to look like me. You're gonna bring your hands together in prayer. Just press your palms into the center of your chest and feel your heartbeat under your fingertips. We're taking 1 breath together. Take an inhale to close. And exhale, let it go. Namaste. I will see you soon.